Hey coin lovers! Welcome to the Worth Old Coins channel, your place to discover the hidden value and rare facts about old coins. In today's video we're revealing the top 2 valuable coins, and one of them might just be in your collection. So don't skip this video, let's find out their real worth. Top 1. The 1 cent Canada 2003 coin is one of the more interesting modern Canadian pennies because it was struck during a transitional year in Canadian coinage history. Produced by the Royal Canadian Mint, the 2003 cent belongs to the Elizabeth II portrait series, but unlike most other years, it actually exists in 2 distinct obverse varieties due to a design update midway through the year. This coin also represents the later stage of Canada's penny production era, which would end in 2012, and it retains the famous maple leaf twig reverse design that had been in use since 1937. By 2003, the Canadian 1 cent piece was no longer a coin of high purchasing power, but it remained a cultural symbol of Canadian identity widely used in everyday transactions. This year's issue holds special numismatic interest because it was struck in both the older tiara portrait and the newer, mature portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, making it a must-have for collectors who focus on varieties. The obverse of the early 2003 cents features the 1990 portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Canadian artist Dora de Pederyhunt, showing the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara and facing right with a surrounding inscription Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, Elizabeth II by the grace of God, Queen. However, in the middle of 2003, the Royal Canadian Mint adopted a new effigy designed by artist Susanna Blunt, which shows a more mature, realistic depiction of the Queen without a crown or tiara, wearing only a simple pearl necklace. This portrait was notable because it marked the first uncrowned effigy of a reigning monarch on Canadian coinage since the reign of King George VI. Both obverse types bear the same wording, but their artistic styles are quite different, making them easy to tell apart even to a casual observer. The reverse of all 2003 1 cent coins, regardless of obverse variety, features the timeless maple leaf twig design by British artist G.E. Kruger Gray, introduced in 1937. The image shows 2 maple leaves, one large and one smaller, attached to a single stem, symbolizing Canada's natural heritage and national identity. The word Canada is placed above the design, the denomination 1 cent is inscribed above the leaves, and the date 2003 is positioned below the stem. This design remained unchanged for decades, becoming one of the most recognizable features of Canadian coinage. In terms of specifications, the 2003 Canadian 1 cent coin was made from 98.4% steel, 1.5% copper plating, and 0.1% nickel, a shift from the earlier copper-plated zinc cents used up to 1996. The steel core was a cost-saving measure introduced in 2000, allowing the Royal Canadian Mint to produce pennies more economically. The coin weighs 2.35 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.45 millimeters, and a plain, smooth edge. While fresh from the mint, the coin has a bright reddish copper color, which over time darkens to brown as the surface oxidizes. High-grade examples, particularly those in mint state with full red luster, display fine detail in the Queen's portrait and the maple leaf veins. The mintage of 2003 cents was substantial, with hundreds of millions produced, but because of the 2-portrait transition, the Dora de Pederyhunt tiara obverse is generally less common than the Susanna Blunt uncrowned obverse. Collectors often seek both types to complete a year set. Proof-like and specimen strikes were also issued for collectors in official mint sets, and these have a sharper strike and more polished surfaces compared to circulation coins. Occasionally, 2003 pennies turn up with mint errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or missing plating. These error coins can be worth many times their face value depending on rarity and condition. Historically, the 2003 penny reflects Canada's numismatic evolution. The switch from the tiara to the uncrowned portrait was not merely aesthetic, it was part of a broader design modernization effort by the Royal Canadian Mint to better reflect a contemporary image of the monarch. This shift also marked the beginning of the longest-lasting portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on Canadian coinage, as the blunt design continued until the penny's final year in 2012 and remains on higher denominations today. For many Canadians, the 2003 penny is a coin they still remember using daily in change, often without noticing the subtle difference between portraits until years later. From a collector's standpoint, the 1 cent Canada 2003 coin offers a unique opportunity to own 2 distinct designs from a single year. While common in circulated grades, finding uncirculated examples with full red color and no spots can be challenging due to the steel core's tendency to develop surface imperfections over time. Proof-like and specimen coins preserved in original mint packaging remain the best way to secure pristine examples. In numismatic circles, the 2003 cent is appreciated not for its rarity but for its role in telling the story of Canadian coinage's gradual modernization. Top 2. The 1 cent Canada 2000 coin is part of the final era of Canadian small cent coins before their production ceased in 2012. Struck by the Royal Canadian Mint, it belongs to the Elizabeth II portrait series, which began in 1953. The 2000-dated coin is notable for being one of the last regular-issue Canadian cents of the 20th century, and also the first of the new millennium, making it historically interesting to both numismatists and casual collectors. And 2000 Canada also produced special commemorative coins for other denominations under the Millennium Program, but the 1 cent piece retained its traditional design, symbolizing continuity in the country's coinage despite the turn of the century. These coins were widely circulated across Canada, used in everyday transactions, and are a familiar relic for Canadians who grew up before the penny's discontinuation. The obverse front of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by artist Dora de Pedery-Hunt, introduced in 1990 and used on cents until 2003. This depiction shows the Queen facing right, wearing a tiara with the surrounding legend, Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, meaning Elizabeth II by the grace of God Queen. The design is sharply detailed, and in higher-grade coins, the fine lines of the hair and the smoothness of the fields are visible without wear. The reverse back of the coin displays the classic maple leaf twig design created by G.E. Kruger Gray in 1937, consisting of 2 maple leaves on a single stem. This image became one of Canada's most recognizable numismatic symbols and remained on the penny for decades. The word Canada is inscribed above the date 2000, is placed below the stem, and the denomination 1 cent is written above the maple leaves. In terms of specifications, the 1 cent Canada 2000 coin is made from 98.4% copper-plated zinc, with small traces of tin and other metals in earlier compositions, but by 2000 most cents were copper-plated zinc instead of solid bronze. It has a weight of 2.35 grams, a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a plain edge, smooth without reading. The surface has a bright coppery red luster when freshly minted, which darkens over time to a brownish tone due to oxidation. In uncirculated condition, these coins display a mirror-like finish if struck as proofs, while regular circulation strikes have a matte yet clean look. The Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg, Manitoba, produced the majority of these coins using highly efficient automated systems. A point of interest for collectors is that 2000 Canadian 1 cent coins exist in both circulation strike and proof-like strike forms, and there may be subtle die variations. While the majority are extremely common, coins in mint state condition graded MS 65 or higher are desirable, especially those with full red color and no spotting. Occasionally, error coins from 2000, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet flaws surface and can fetch higher prices on the numismatic market. Though their face value is only 1 cent, pristine examples in proof sets or with unique errors may be worth several dollars to the right buyer. Historically, this coin marks a transition period in Canadian coinage. The Royal Canadian Mint was increasingly moving toward cost-saving measures such as cheaper metal compositions and automated high-volume production. The cent itself was facing criticism for costing more to produce than its face value, a fact that would eventually lead to its discontinuation in 2012. For many Canadians, the 2000 penny is now a nostalgic keepsake, once a common part of change, now a small reminder of the pre-digital cash era. In terms of mintage, tens of millions of these coins were produced, ensuring they are still relatively easy to find in circulated condition today. From a collector's standpoint, the 1 cent Canada 2000 coin is an affordable entry into Canadian numismatics. It carries historical significance due to its place at the dawn of the new millennium, retains the timeless maple leaf design, and is associated with the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Whether kept as part of a date set of Canadian cents stored in uncirculated rolls or preserved in proof-like mint sets, it continues to be appreciated by coin enthusiasts. Its combination of history, artistry, and symbolic meaning ensures that the humble 2000 Canadian penny will remain a small yet enduring chapter in Canada's rich numismatic story. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.